Broadway's in need of a bailout of their own, with 15 shows closing all at once and some with good reviews. The composer of the musical Hairspray tells the New York Times it's like putting a pet to sleep, not because it's sick, because you can't afford dog food. Broadway's bright lights are a little dimmer these days. 15 shows closed at the beginning of January, including Young Frankenstein, Hairspray, Grease, and the new musical 13. And while some were scheduled to lower the curtain, others were forced to call it quits. Ken Davenport, the producer behind 13, called it Broadway's answer to High School Musical. For Hollywood, this demographic has been a gold mine, but on stage, it couldn't weather the economic storm.
What happened, of course, now you get into the economic crisis of the past 3 to 6 months, and no demographic has been hit harder than the family of 4 from the suburbs that would want to experience something like this.
Davenport says even with good reviews, the economic crisis hit 13 hard. However, the show did not get a good review from Time Out New York theater critic Adam Feldman.
None of the shows that closed was a particular surprise. It's just it looks a little worse when they all close at the same time. And certainly the economic downturn has had something to do with accelerating that process.
Whether the shows that closed were good or not remains a matter of opinion. The fact is, tickets on Broadway have not been selling. Davenport watched the ticket sales mimic the stock market.
Watch that line start to increase, and then when the stock market really went in the tank, early October, it flatlined and didn't move. And it was like everyone had pressed pause on their purchase buttons.
With a foot in both the Broadway and off-Broadway worlds, he calls the Great White Way the big house on the hill, while off-Broadway was the village hit first and hit hardest by the economic flood. This summer, 3 omens worried producers like Davenport. I Love You, You're Perfect, Now Change, My Mother's Italian, My Father's Jewish, and I'm in Therapy, and Forbidden Broadway. 2 of the beloved shows ran for more than 10 years, and all 3 closed this summer.
When I saw those sort of, big, heavy-hitting off-Broadway shows closing that have been through a lot, I knew something was on the horizon.
Broadway's latest bow has not just impacted producers, actors, and investors. It's having a ripple effect. Restaurants are feeling the pinch too. Many Times Square eateries are working to entice customers with deep discounts in these cold winter months. And as president of the New York Drama Critics Circle, Feldman's seeing the economic crisis impact theater in another way. Not only are there less productions to review, but there are fewer critics doing the work as more and more newspapers trim their workforce.
It is a real problem. I think the more voices, the more strong voices you have discussing a play, the stronger the discussion you're going to have.
With about 20 new productions set to open in the spring, many hope Broadway can bounce back. In the meantime,
there's a huge storm. Hold on to something and see if you can get through it.
There is one upside to Broadway's woes, for customers anyway: big discounts. Altar Boys, the off-Broadway show also produced by Davenport, will be offering certain performances for whatever you want to pay, literally. For more information on Pay What You Can Night, head to altarboyswithaz.com.